Should we do Instagram? I'm just gonna leave Instagram today. I'm liking our little chats we're having here. I want to split the chat. Let's get Godot going here. This has been a fun one. Getting it all off my chest here. I'm just fucking with you. I'm sure you're an amazing tenant. Okay, so the last thing we were doing, if anyone remembers, we were working on this orange zone. I think I got the whole orange zone done. At least like functionally. What I'm trying to do, my goal for right now is to get each of the 4 zones like functionally working. Not looking great, but just like the function is there. There's like a win condition for each of these puzzles. The kind of guns and shit are working. And so I think I got that all done with the orange area. And then I started working on this blue zone. But why don't we go take a pop into the orange and just see if there's any outstanding problems we've got going on here. Let's get some like royalty-free tunes on YouTube going on here. Royalty-free background music. This one was pretty good last time. Ooh, I don't like that pulsing of the screen there. Ooh. Gritty, you have a wonderful weekend as well. Let me know if it's too loud or whatever. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get our player scene. Let's remove this blue gun for now. And let's add the orange gun back. I think I gotta change a little bit of the code here. In the script. Actually, it should be okay. Let's just see what happens here. And I gotta move, oops, I gotta move our guy into the, excuse me, good God, into the orange zone. Oh, you know what? I'm going to turn the collision shapes off here. Right level? Okay, perfect. It was pretty nice. This playlist was pretty good last time. Okay, so here's the Tetris part of the game. So you just gotta boom, boom, boom. Oh, did I fuck this up? No, I think we're good. Boom. Prints out a little "you did it" down here if the puzzle has been successfully completed. Boom, 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 boom. Good. Some of these are way too easy, and then the last couple are like extremely hard. Extremely hard. Boom. You did it. You did it. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm still on the wrong scene. My bad. There we go. Hey, yep. That's a valid one. I deserve that one. Whoopsie daisy. And then this one here kind of teaches you that you got to do the overlap thing, the cancel out if you overlap. There you go. And then that overlap idea is how the rest of these work. I think it went here, 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 and here. Boom. We got the little crosshair one going. How did this go again? Now I think it was here, 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 here. Boom. Some of these, this is good that we're doing this because I can't remember. This one went here, here, here. Was it here? Nope, fuck that up. Boom, boom, and then I think this went here. There it is. And then these last two are just nasty. Just nasty. Let's see if I remember them. Here, here, boom, boom, boom. And this one is real crazy. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. That's the orange zone. So the orange zone's working. Again, there's no like, it's not, the puzzles aren't even giving you the orbs or anything, and it's not doing that kind of effect. But that's all gonna come. I want to get the game functionally playable and then do the prettiness after. I think that's a good way to do it. Instead of getting bogged down and trying to make shit look nice before the functionality is all there. So let's go back to blue. Get rid of this orange gun. The blue one back in. Move our guy into the blue area. Phoenix, good to see you. Hell yeah, we're good. Progress, yeah, the progress is good. That orange area came together pretty quick. This, like every zone that I make, I'm getting better at programming and better at Godot. And I'm just able to make things happen so much faster now, which is nice. Actually, we got to turn our collision shapes back on for this. So the idea for the blue area is going to be, you got this rocket launcher. And basically you'll launch rockets at the grid, and it's going to be kind of like Sokoban, like box pushing. And when it explodes, it's going to push the little files over, and you got to get the files to the proper spots in order to win. So I got the movement and the grenade kind of exploding thing happening, but we don't have a win condition yet. So let's make a win condition for this. That's a great question, Roger. I can show you the music. The music is actually going to be a big part of the game. So let me show you here. Let me pause this. Let's get Reaper going. I just got to open a different project. One sec. Where is it? Main music. Check, check, check. You hearing me? Sounds a little quiet. Turn the master up a bit. Okay, okay, great question, Roger. So let me show you. Let me give you a little background info here first. Let me go to, get rid of this again. Let's pull the player in. The green area is kind of the most complete. So I can kind of show you how this is going to work. You know what? Let me turn those collision shapes off again. There's no music in the game right now. I turned it all off, so it wasn't conflicting with the background music. So the first area, this is the kind of like little Space Invaders zone where you just gotta kill all the little guys. And you get the little effect, you get the orbs. Then you got to go around, and then each like differently colored area has like it's sort of a different little arcadey mechanic, and each area has a little alien guy that you got to rescue, and each alien is going to be singing a different melody, and kind of the point of the game. So every time you complete a puzzle, you get an orb, and then you have to put all 10 orbs on these pedestals, and then it releases the little alien guy. And the little alien guy, each one's going to be singing their own melody. So it's going to sound like this. One sec. Oh yeah, I was fucking around with some different, it's main, MIDI. It's mute. This is kind of going to be like the main music. I'm not exactly sure about the timbre, like the instrument or whatever that's being used. I think I had a different one originally. Let me go back to that just because I believe it was it this one? Shorefando with table warp, yeah. Can you hear that? I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. And then each little guy is gonna have their own melody. So the blue guy, it'll start here in a sec. So they're each, the idea is, let me turn that down a bit. The idea is each little guy is going to be singing a different melody, and the idea is they're trapped in the computer, and you got to go into the computer and save them so that they can all sing together. So here's like the first guy's melody. And then the second one. They're all going to be slightly different. Like I want it to almost be imperceptible. So when you're in each colored zone, you'll only hear that melody. And there's a big white room that you're going to bring them all in so that they can sing together. Here's the third one. And then fourth. Got a different effect on it. Just one sec. Modern Pluck's Basic Pluck. And then when you stack them all together, they all kind of sing like a little tune all together. So the idea is you got to go rescue them all, pull them into the white room so that they can all sing together. And again, I'm not sure exactly if it's going to sound like this. I bought this Commodore 64 chip sound plugin, so I'm going to fuck around with all this shit and see if I can make something sound dope. Originally, I had this, and I don't know, I might like this more. Anyway, that's the idea. I do kind of like these plunky ones, but they're a little bit harsh. I'd like to soften them up a bit somehow. But anyways, that's the idea. That's the idea behind the game and the music. Yes, you'll only hear one tune until you bring them all together into the room. The reason for that, some people were suggesting that it should stack as you go. So like you beat the first area and you go to the second area and then you're hearing like those two melodies stacked. But the reason I don't want to do that, there's a couple reasons. First of all is like when you first start the game, you'll hear the first melody. Like in the green area, you'll hear the green melody. So then when you get to the orange area, before you've even completed a single puzzle, you would hear the stacked green and orange, and so on and so forth. But then when you get to the fourth area, you would already hear all four melodies stacked without even having completed a puzzle. So from the whole beginning of the fourth area to the very end of the game, there would be no change in the music. So I want like that to be sort of part of the reward for the player is you actually have to beat each area, grab each little guy and bring him back to the white zone so that you can hear them all together. And also I want the player to hear each individual melody. And then hopefully maybe by like the second or third be like, oh, these melodies actually aren't exactly the same. They're like very slightly different. So yeah, it should, I'm hoping I can pull it off, but it's a lot of fucking work, but it's super fun. I love it. I love programming. BMO. See, I never watched Adventure Time, but I've heard it's fucking awesome. I gotta watch it. But yeah, because a couple people, one of the other times I was streaming this, few people suggested the stacking. And I thought about it and I was like, no, I think you gotta hear it all individual. It'll make for a very underwhelming ending if it stacks. Because then you only need to beat 3 areas and then you have literally the whole, like the point of the game completed. But anyways, let's get this going again. And let's get into this blue zone, baby. So let's go back to our player. We'll add that blue gun again. And let's shoink them back here. Oh yeah, I got to turn on the collision shapes again. So yeah, these things, this is all working pretty good. I was worried about how I was going to get this to happen, but it seems to be working just fine. So we need to make little targets, and then we need to detect if the little file thing is in the target. Takes away from the final reward, exactly, yeah. Really dark and creepy. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Is it kind of for kids, or is it like meant for adults? I've heard people who love it fucking love it, and it looks right up my alley. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go A Sprite and make a 3232. Let's make a little blue target thing. Whoops. Let's see, what should we make it for now? Let's just make it like a, I don't know, another little square within the square or something. Is that even? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9. So we can go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, for now, good enough. Just call it blue target. And we'll export it. Sprites, blue target.png, good. All right. Oops. Okay, so then we're in this code for the puzzle. We're going to want to, I don't want to have to individually for each puzzle drag and move the fucking shit around. So we'll see if we can get this to get created through code, which I don't think will be too hard. We can basically use the same code we're using to create the little file objects that we have to move around and do it that way, I think. For kids, but adults can enjoy it too. You're gonna go on your 2.5 hour drive back home. Hell yeah, drive safe. Too heavy for kids. Yeah, I know, like, I think when I was a substitute teacher, sometimes people would put that on in for like lunchtime for kids or whatever. If it was like if it was too cold to go outside, kids would watch it. But I was always kind of like, isn't this like kind of like Rick and Morty? But I don't think it's quite that like adult, right? Heavier themes really disturbed you for a while. That, you know, I like that they're still making that kind of shit for kids, honestly. Those are the things that really hit when I was a kid. All right. Right. So let's take a look at this code. Yeah. Here's our blue puzzle. Okay. So we're going to go const. We'll make a, we'll go target sprite. And it's going to be, where was it? Sprites, blue target. Throw that in there. We're gonna have to do some importing actually. So let's do this just for now. Add a child, sprite 3D. It always imports them kind of blurry and weird. Okay, that should be fixed. Should be good to delete that. Okay, and then in the script, so I have this, we have the create files. We can do the exact same thing. File positions.size. So let's do another array for target positions. Array of vector 2s. That will set for the targets. Should we just have it in the same function? No, we'll make it its own function. So we'll go, we'll do it here. Go func, create targets. Target positions dot size. Okay, so we're gonna make a new sprite 3D. Follow this exact same formula here. It's gonna need an area, right? Yeah, it's going to. So area.new. The area needs a collision shape. It's going to be a box shape. So collision shape.shape is going to be a new box shape. We add the collision shape to the area. We scale the whole thing down. It should be the same scale as the other things. Should be fine. And then we're gonna go target. Right, so we're gonna add, we add the area, which has the collision shape as a child. We add all that to the target, which is the thing. The sprite 3D will go target dot texture is target sprite, which is up here, right? Oh yeah, and actually these should both be, since they're constants, they should be all caps. Target.texture equals target sprite. And we'll have to change this up here. And then we're going to add, oh yeah. Should we add? We should be able to just do add child, I think. So all that should create our target, makes a sprite, which is an image, adds an area and a collision shape to that image, scales it down, and then adds it to the puzzle. And then we got to align it. So we'll do the same thing here. Func align targets. Adventure Time does that. I love that shit too. So I think I got to check this out. I love animated stuff too. I just love visual art. I love anime as well. Although some of it's so cringy. Some of it I find a hard time getting into. Still get nightmares from that show, dude. Oh, Salad Fingers? Yeah, dude. I watched Salad Fingers. That was like some early internet shit. I watched that when I was a teenager. Salad Fingers was crazy. I never watched Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's how, what was that movie we watched in the Discord? That Asian one? Everything Everywhere All at Once? That one made me sit and think for a while. So good. So good. Okay, so now we got to align these based on what we'll set as the target's X and Y positions in the export, this export variable here. So what did we do here? File holder.get children. Actually, you know what? We should actually do this. So let's go to our puzzle blue. Let's open that scene. We have this file sprite holder. We're going to do the same thing for this. We're going to add a spatial. And we'll call this target sprite holder. And what we'll do is we'll define that in here. OnReady var target holder. It's a spatial equals target sprite holder. And then we'll go target holder dot add child. And then that way we can easily access all of them by going var targets, which will be array is target holder get children. And then we do for I in range targets.size. Oops. Should be the exact same thing here. So target targets I dot translation dot x equals, all right, plus equals file position or target positions I dot x times our movement size, which is 0.32. Do the same thing for y. Is that music a little loud? Target positions dot y, whoops, times movement size. All right, let's see if we did this properly. So now if we go to our world, that's just how our puzzle looks. If we click on that puzzle, we should now be able to put in two. Oh, and another thing, I forgot to do this actually. This this here has to be moved to that exact position. So negative 0.48 and positive 0.48. And positive 0.48. And then I had a Z, I had it popping out just a little bit, 0.007. In fact, actually, let's go 0.006 because we want those, when the files are sitting on top of that, we want the files to cover that up. So that's poking out just a little bit less. So we don't get any weird clipping and transparency shit. Also, another thing, it should be okay, actually. Okay, so now I should be able to click on this, and then we're going to say, let's put the targets in these top two corners here. So it'll be, the first one will be 0, 0. And then the second one will be, what'll that be? X, 1, 2, 3, and then Y of 0. Let's see if this works. Let's see if it creates two targets in those spots. Nope. Something went wrong. Where'd we go wrong? Oh, I know. We're not actually calling those. So we'll have to go create, create targets and align targets. Let's try that. Booyah. There they are, baby. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go, bud. Let's freaking go. So if I launch my little grenade there, boom. Send that one flying. Send that one flying. Let's see how this looks. Boom, that one's on top. Perfect. Send that one flying. Send that one flying. Let's go. Okay, so now we need to say if the two files are touching that shit, we win. Feels so good when it works. Music's good, Kat. Me, son, you have a great weekend as well. We'll see you Monday, hopefully. Man, it feels good. I love getting better at something. Fuck, it's the best feeling in the world. And being able to, like, when I first sat down to do this, like, blue area, I was like, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. And now I'm like, I know exactly how I'm going to fucking do this. Fuck, that feels good. Okay, so now we need to check win condition function. Okay, so basically, how should we do this? Maybe after every time the files get moved, well, we should check the win condition. So let's do this. Let me think. So let's take these. We don't need to do the areas. We should do the, or maybe it is the areas. So for the areas in the targets, let's do this. Area. Add to group. We'll call it blue target areas. And then we'll have the files check for the let's think about this. Files check for the collision, I guess. Doesn't really matter. The files could check for the collision or the target could check for the collision. But we may as well get the files to do it because we got all the file movement code here. I'm not going to make the guns more 3D. No, I'm not going to do any 3D models in this game. Here, the thing is, like, there's a million things I could do. I really want to get a game project finished and out. If fucking nobody buys it, nobody plays it, whatever. My big problem right now with making games is I never finish any fucking projects. So any kind of like the whole visual style of the game is just 2D sprites in the 3D world, and that's just like a arbitrary constraint I'm imposing on myself. Feel your paintings come leaps and bounds through practice. It's amazing what practice will do, man. It actually fucking works. Okay, so let's think about this. What did we do? We added the blue target areas. So let's do this. We'll say if for f in file holder dot get children. So for each file, we'll say if what are the area? Just add an area here for a sec. Need to see the signals. Oh yeah, right. So area entered, right? So for each file, we'll say if let's try this. Sometimes you got to just fuck around a little bit, and the way you're doing it isn't the best way, but sometimes once you get it working, you can kind of then see a better way of doing it. So we're going to get the child. So if this is the actual collider on each of those files. And we'll say if f dot. Wait, hold up. We might actually have to do this a different way. Hold on, I gotta think here for a second. Unfinished project's called a pile of shame. Dude, I know. I have a pile of shame myself, and I hate it. Like, I hate that there's like always this nagging thing in the back of my head. So this, originally I was going to try and get this project done in a weekend, but it was completely different. The whole concept didn't have any of that musical concept. It was all like really one simple type of puzzle. I was going to have just sort of slightly different mechanics of this one puzzle type in each area. But it just kind of has grown and taken on a life of its own. And now I think I have sort of a general big picture idea of how it's going to go. So I'm trying to just stick with that. Because I hate not finishing a project, man. It feels bad. Oh, just tooted. Okay, I'm just trying to think here. So we have these signals. We might need to use metadata, actually. Oh, you know what we can do? Instead of checking, you know what? We might not even need to use colliders now that I think about it. We need colliders on the files because the explosive needs to detect those. But we might actually just be able to check the position instead of using collision shapes, which would mean we could get rid of some of this code, which would be nice. So let's do this. Let's say for f in file holder, I get children. So for each of the files, we're going to say if how do we do this? What is with this black box plane going down little weird thing happening in the background of this music? Little tooty, little squeaker there. So many in your unfinished projects, like grinding gears to start them. Yeah, I know, man. And I just I hate that. And I spend so much of my time thinking about programming and thinking about these little games and stuff that I'm making. And I just feel like a fraud or like a phony if I haven't made anything and released it. So the goal with this one is obviously I'm going to make it as good as I can. But like I said, I have some artificial constraints. I'm only having 10 sort of puzzles or whatever per area. 10 max. Everything is going to be 2D sprites, no 3D modeling. Only 4 areas. That kind of shit. And I'm just forcing myself to stay in those constraints so that I can finish it and not letting it, because the problem I have with all my games is they just balloon and balloon and balloon and balloon. And then suddenly I'm trying to make a game that would take fucking a team of professionals 2 years to make. And I think I'm going to be able to do this as my little hobby. I get a couple hours here and there every week to work on it. It's just not going to happen. Biggest is your man cave, 6 years, still haven't put up the walls. Bro, get those walls up, brother. Where else are you going to fucking jerk off? Am I right? Still mixing projects from 2018? Dude. Does it bother you? If it doesn't bother you, fine. But for me, it bothers the hell out of me. I just have this guilt, this nagging little guilt in the back of my fucking head. They are annoying. Rubbing out for Phoenix. Hey, I got you. On it. That I can do. Phoenix, I'm thinking of you tonight, brother. When I'm down in my goon cave. Rubbing myself raw. I'll be thinking of you. Got so much going on, yeah. Well, the other thing too is there's personal projects versus stuff that you got to do for other people. So for me, shit that I got to do for other people always takes precedence. Exactly, kind of exactly. That's the thing with me. That's like in game dev they call that scope creep. The scope of the project just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you're fucked. Yeah, when you got a job to do and you gotta get shit done for other people, then that, yeah, you gotta do that. Okay, I'm trying to think here. I want to check the positions. I was thinking it might be easier to check the position of each of these files versus the position of, like, if we look over here. Versus the positions of these. So I guess for each file, what we could do is we could run through, for each and every file, we'll run through each of these positions. So we might have to do like a nested loop thing or something. Let's see. So for each file, and then we'll say for T and target position. What is this? I fucking hate it when this shit happens. Return string name. Like, what are you talking about? Like, do I need to put this in a variable first? Maybe that's why it's giving me shit. Okay, so for each file, and then we'll say for T in target positions. And we'll go if f dot translation dot x equals so that's one of the target positions. So T, we might have to do this actually for I in range. Whoops. Target positions dot size. Error parsing, misplaced built-in function. Man, what is, I'm getting these weird fucking errors here. Oh, wait, yeah, my bad actually. For I in range, and then I think this has to be in brackets. Oops. There we go. And we'll say if f dot translation dot x is equal to target positions I dot x and translation dot y equals target positions I dot x or dot y. Okay, so for each file, for file and file holder get children, for I in range target positions, if it's gonna loop through each of those. How do we do this? We don't want to return true because if we return true there, that'll only be if one of them, like you have to do like the non-win condition first, kind of. Need a new name for your man cave? Lady pad? Oh, you're a lady? Oh wait, yeah, I know who you are. I get you and Phoenix Bane mixed up. You're Leo's daughter, right? Lady pad. Yeah, lady pad. Sounds like a maxi pad. Let's call it the goon zone. Everybody goons, right? Yeah, it is a downside of optimistic ambition. You need that optimistic and almost delusional ambition, but it has to be tempered with some sort of reality, right? You're Leo's daughter. I will not be thinking of you when I goon myself silly tonight. I will be thinking about my beautiful wife. Okay. Now, if you're a dude, I'll be thinking of you. Okay, so how do we do this? Because here's the thing. If I say, yeah, how the hell? Because you want to be able to, like, one way we could do it is we could just check, like, we got two lists. One list has the files and one list has the targets. And you could just check, like, if file one's position equals target one's position, and if file two's position equals target two's position, then great. But what'll happen, like, you should be able to put file 2 on target 1, for example, and vice versa. So that won't work. We were doing it here if... So first thing we're doing, we're taking... So, okay, we're taking... How do we do this? Each file we check for... The other thing, though, yeah... So if one of the file's target's position is equal to the first target position there, we can't return true there because that'll just make it so only one file has to be in the proper spot. If we reverse this and we say, like, if it's not equal, we could return false, but that won't work either because then it'll return false. It'll be checking, like, if file 1 is not in target 2, which it wouldn't be. If it was sitting on target 1, then that would return false, which we don't want that either. So what's the best way to do it? Maybe the target is the way, or maybe what we could do is set some metadata for each file. Maybe we could have like a is on target variable. And then we check if all those variables are true. Maybe we do that. So we'll say if the file's translation X and Y is the same as target position X and Y, we'll do this. We'll say f.setMeta. How does set meta work again? I got to check this one out. Set meta. String and value. Adds, changes, or removes a given entry in the object's metadata. Okay. So just string and value. All right. So if we go here, let's go to, where's our script? There it is. So we'll say f.setMeta and we'll say is on target. We'll set it to true. We are going to need a mechanism to set it back to false after, but let's just see if we can kind of get generally going in the right direction here. You know what we should do actually? Maybe we should take this. Here's what we should do. So at the end of the movement for each file. Now, how do I wait until the end of the, can I yield? How to check? I gotta just Google this real quick. How do you check? I think you could use yield somehow. Wait until tween completed. Move when tween is over. Here we go. This is Godot 4, but a wait. I don't think Godot 3 has a wait. Let's see. No. I think it has. I think we use yield. This. Let me try yield here. Yield. And how does this one work? Stops the function, returns the current suspended state to the calling function. Passed an object and a signal. Here we go. The execution is resumed when the object emits the given signal. Okay, so we should be able then, I believe, to go tween. And then the signal will be tween all completed or just tween completed? I think just tween completed. And then we will do the check. So we'll say if file collided with dot range target positions dot size if file collided with dot translation dot x equals target positions I dot x and file collided with dot translation dot y equals, we're gonna have to use is equal approx there. We're gonna have to change that, but let's just see target positions, oops, I dot y. Then we'll do this. Then we'll do this set meta. So we'll say file collided with dot set meta, and it's going to be is on target. We'll set it to true. So this right now, this is only happening if, or you know what? Let's take this all and we'll put it after the match statement. So that'll do all the movement. In fact, let's put that yield. So we'll do all the movement and then we'll do our yield here. Tween, and I'll go tween all completed. So that should wait for the movement to stop, and then we'll do this. And then in our, okay, let's just test this first. So then what we'll do is we'll say, oh shit. Oh no, this should be okay. And then we'll just do this, print file collided with dot get meta. Is on target. All right. Sean Beats, how are you doing, my dude? No dude is safe from my goon. My goon. My goon. All right. Won't do even the win condition yet. I just want to see if this is getting set properly. So I'm going to, let's only make one. Let's make one file for this one. And let's see if I move it into that position. Null. Still null. Okay, I think that might be because, let's do this. Translation.x dot is equal approx. I think we can, but is equal approx, I think that's just for vectors. Which actually might work. Here, I got another idea. We'll say if file collided with dot translation, but that's, let's try this. Var translation 2D equals file collided with, wait, vector 2 collided with dot translation dot x, file collided with dot translation.y. And we could say if translation (2d) dot is equal approx to target positions I. Hold up. I got an idea. File translation 2D. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna get rid of all this shit. Let's try this. We're gonna say var file translation 2D is vector 2, and it's going to be file collided with dot translation dot x and y. And then we're gonna say var target translation 2D is a vector 2, and it's going to be oh no, this one's gonna have to be in the loop. What was it? Target translation 2D. I might be doing a redundancy here, but we'll see. Vector 2 target positions I dot x target positions I dot y. Then we're going to say if, let's get rid of this line. What we'll do is we'll say if file translation 2D is equal approx to target translation 2D. Then we'll do this set meta. Now let's see if that changes anything. Move it there. So we're getting null. That's okay. And then here, true. Fuck yeah. Look at that shit. Look at that nice little true down there, baby. Woo! So we had to use the approximate position. Most game engines have like problems with really specific floating point values. So like these are all decimal places. Like it's all in multiples of 0.32. Basically, like how this works is this is a 32 by 32, or each square in this where are we here? Each of these is a 32 by 32 pixel square. But when you import a 3D sprite into a sprite into the 3D world, it scales it down by 10. So these are all actually 0.32 by 0.32, which is fine. But when you're trying to compare exact positions, sometimes it'll be like 0.311888888 or some shit like that. It'll be off by just like fractions of decimal places. So instead of comparing them exactly, we had to just use this approximate comparison. And I believe that was working. Okay, so now let's add that other file back in and see if it'll work for both. And then we'll have to have some sort of mechanism that if you move one onto the thing, but then you move it back off, it has to set that value to false again. Round of applause for you, Nikki. I'm preaching something. I'm preaching the word of the Lord. Call me Terry Davis. There's this guy named Terry Davis. He was like kind of this crazy, like he might have been schizophrenic or something. Very, very religious guy. And he made his own language called Holy C. It was a variation of the C programming language. And then he built his own operating system in this language. And the operating system was called Temple OS. And it was like his version. He was basically building like what he thought he was doing, or what he was doing was building a digital tower to God. It was like his way of like honoring God through making this this language and this operating system. And it's like some of the most bananas, bonkers, like genius level programming that's ever existed. Terry knew about the fucking feds. Yeah, you know who Terry Davis is. Hell yeah, dude. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. There's like some YouTube documentaries on this guy. And he's kind of cool. Super cool guy. That's my goat. That's my goat. All right. Sweet. So let's add a second file in there again. We'll go at position 2 by 2 here. God, this feels so fucking good when it works, baby. Woo! All right, let's start with this one. Whoops, I fucked up already. So that one's true, but now I can't move that one back up. Actually, you know what? Actually, this is a weird edge case that I didn't think about. Should the player be able to launch a thing there and like off the grid and shoot them back up? It's a good question. Okay, so that one is still null. So that one didn't work. Now, why is that? Is it because of... Let's see, if I just move this one now, I'm going to try and aim it in a way that it doesn't move over the other one. Null. Still null. Okay, and then if I move this one, null. True. That one is true. So where's the error in our code here? What time is it? 3:39. Okay, we'll go like maybe 20 more minutes or so, maybe another half hour, then I'm gonna head to the gym. Digital Tower of Babel, pretty much. Yeah, it's really cool. It's an interesting story. Like, the guy was kind of obviously crazy, but also a genius. You also follow Christ? Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. I was never a religious person, but honestly, the older I get, the more value I see in it. I think Anna and I might start... I'm breaking all the fucking chat rules here today, by the way. But I think we might, when the kids are a little older, we're thinking about maybe going to church and raising them religious. Okay, so what's going on here? So if iron range target positions dot size. Okay, another thing, is it the file or is it the target? So let's move that first file to the second target and let's see what that does. I'm breaking them all. Whoops. Oh well. We got a chill crew here today. The reason I do... Oh, okay. I didn't know that was going to happen. Still null. Okay, so it seems to be... Whoops. It seems to be the second target that's the problem. Yeah, I'm breaking them today. Whoops, my bad. Yeah, that's exactly it. Freezing. Exactly. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, and like my family was not religious. I went to like Catholic school. So I had a lot of friends that were raised super religious, but we never were. But yeah, I was like total classic, like Reddit atheist. Oh, you need your little imaginary friend to fucking tell you how to live your life. Like I was one of those fucking pieces of shit, you know? Thought I was smarter than everybody. But now, I don't know, I'm starting to see the value in it more. And kind of sort of goes along with yeah, little Cartman. Goes along a little bit with what the shit we were talking about earlier. Like just kind of everything getting so fucking crazy and wild, and like I just kind of feel like I'm gonna say something kind of crazy. I saw this fucking, there's these, anyone who's been on Twitter the last little bit, you may see these like these OnlyFans chicks who are like, they're like banging 100, like the one girl did like 1,000 guys in a day or something. And I've seen this stuff and I'm just like, we need Jesus back. We got rid of him and now we got this kind of shit happening. Not saying that never happened but like, you know, just the religion's kind of like important in Western at least in North America, has really sort of like, it's kind of gone pew. And like, there's just, things are just unraveling a little bit. And I always kind of thought like, oh, you could have this sort of enlightened scientific society and da-da-da-da. But now I'm kind of starting to think, no, I think maybe like an objective sort of like clearly stated moral code is actually a good thing. Not everyone's going to follow it, obviously. But like this idea that you just kind of make your own morality and like, look, no, if everyone's a consenting adult or whatever, like, you know, do your fucking thing. I'm not going to, but like, it's also like, I'd like to think my daughters hopefully don't grow up to be making money doing that. You know what I mean? It is foul. And it's just like, I don't know. There's just something that fucking bugs me about it. Thank you, Budad. And even if like you take the divinity out of it, like you can, and I used to also think like, oh, you can't be Christian and believe in evolution or whatever, but it's like you can actually. Like the stories in the Bible and stuff they have a different type of truth than like an objective truth. There's sort of just like it's like a lesson, like a moral truth. It's like you tell someone the boy who cried wolf story and they're like, where's your evidence of this boy? Where's your evidence of this wolf? And it's like, you're missing the whole point of the fucking story. Yeah, science counted her 1,000 exactly. Yeah, I agree with that kind. Again, if 18-year-old me heard me saying this, I'd be like, you fucking dumb piece of shit. But like, I'm really starting to think that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and it's like, you know, the 10 Commandments are pretty fucking good. And I also used to be like, this idea of hell is, I think, like, it's kind of not, it's not like it's like, oh, if you, like, when the, you guys are getting all my manifestos today. Like, if the Bible says, like, you know, don't commit adultery or you're going to hell, like, people take that literally, like, if I commit adultery, when I die, I'm going to go to this eternal hellfire. But I think what that really means is like, if you commit adultery, your life and the lives of your family and all those around you will become hell, like a living hell on earth. Like, you're going to ruin your own fucking life and the life of your loved ones. I think like that's what it means. It's like a metaphysical thing and not like a, and some people take it literally, but this is just kind of like my interpretation of it is like, that's what that means. Like, if you're cheating on your fucking family all the time, like, it's just going to, and the chickens are going to come home to roost and you will be in a personal hell if that happens. But yeah, also not shoving it down anyone's throat, of course. Like, that's a big part of it. Kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like, everyone should be free to believe whatever they want. There should be no like theocratic, like, you have to be part of this religion or whatever. It's kind of like we were talking about how culty the kind of like ultra fucking like PC shit is. That's kind of like a version of that, where it's like you have to believe in this belief or else you're gone. So none of that, but just on a personal level, and just sort of like, as society has changed in that way, that religion has declined in importance, I think it's brought about some changes that aren't so great. Speed set's a bad seed, it'll have bad fruit. Yeah, exactly. And reap what you sow, exactly. Yeah, no heretic hunting. One day a year, it's like the purge. You just go and blast them all. Exactly. Be excellent to each other is like the main thing. And don't judge people on like their race or their gender or their this and that, which is another thing that I've seen too much of lately that is bothering me. And it's like, you know, you have to believe in the individual. Each person is an individual that should be judged on their worth as an individual. And I never used to think that was sort of like something that came from Christian belief, but now I'm starting to think it might be. Because we're seeing a kind of a bit of a slide back into that real group judgment-based sort of thing. Was brought up very religious. Totally think it's good to share with people. Absolutely need to be respectful. Being kind should color everything. Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Believe in the Thibel. Yo. I be reading that Thibel daily, baby. Thumping it. Thumping that Thibel. Dude, yeah, you grew up in Saudi, so that's interesting. You've been exposed to, like, I mean, the UK in the 80s and 90s, I'm sure had much more of like a Catholic church like bend to it, right? And then Saudi Arabia, obviously you're getting a very Islamic society. That's really interesting. These are kind of fun conversations to have. I'm always kind of nervous about them though. I'm like, ugh. But I feel like we got the right people here today for this stuff. Okay, so what's going on here? The problem seems to be with the second target and not exactly with the... And also, why the hell is that thing moving? I think we can get rid of the collider on this one. I don't think we need it. So let's try this. Let's go with this first file over here. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. We are not multiplying the target position by the grid size. Target transition 2D times movement size. Let's try this. This might fix it. Caribbean still very religious. Still prayers and worship at school. Yeah, again, past me would have been like so against that. Like I would have had a real problem with it. And present me doesn't. Bible Belt? Hell, I love the Bible Belt, actually. I love going to the Bible Belt. Every day until Riyadh. What's Riyadh? Moving religions, political tactics. So is compartmentalizing people by race or gender. Yeah, totally. I agree with that. Oh, gotcha. Capital of Saudi. So it's cool. Oh, like until you moved there. I gotcha. Yeah, it's interesting. Anna and I have been having this conversation a lot. Anna was raised religious more than I was. Yeah, they do all that, a lot of boxing and UFC events over there. Dude, that's awesome, man. That's really cool. And there's a church that's literally like, there's a school, like we live right next door to a school, which is a Catholic school, which is where the kids are going to go. And then right next door to that is a church. So we think if we start going, like Anna hasn't gone basically since she was like lived with her parents. They used to go all like every Sunday. But I think like the kid, like Sadie's too young now and we got Eden and stuff. But once they're a little bit older, I think we're going to start going. Drama group at your church back home for you. It's a nice like community thing too, because we like honestly we've lived here for like 7 years now, 6 or 7 years, and we don't know anyone in our neighborhood. And so it'd be nice to just for that, honestly, just kind of getting to know other people in the neighborhood. We're just like, you know, everyone. It's just kind of how it is now. Like everyone just sort of keeps to themselves. Like we like our next door neighbor Vern. Like we're friendly with him and his wife. They're like an older couple. And there's another. We like wave all the time when you see people and whatever, but like we don't like actually really know our neighbors that well. Okay, let's see if that fixed it. Just multiplying that by the movement size might be good. Might be a good. So let's move this here. Actually, let's do it with with this one. Oops. Shoot that one there. True. Okay, I think that's working now. So let's just do this. We'll say I just want to do each individual file with their thing. And then there's this print. There's something else printing up here. It keeps printing a 1. Yeah, natural teenage rebellion, exactly. The interesting thing though is I never was raised religious, so it wasn't even a rebellion. I think it was more of a rebellion on like the school, because I remember even when I was like, I remember being in grade 7. Grade 7 was when I started to go to Catholic school, and we had some like teachers that were like super hardcore, and like I wasn't Catholic, I wasn't baptized or anything, but I went to the school, and I remember in grade 7 we had to take like Christian ethics classes or whatever they were called, or just religion or something. And I remember one of the teachers being like, if you're not baptized, you're going to hell. And I was just like, fuck you, you fucking bitch, you know? And I think that was part of why I was just like, man, fuck all this shit. And there was sort of like, you know, like this kind of like anti-science bit of a vibe to it, where it was sort of like, oh, like, shouldn't believe in the dinosaurs or evolution or... But I think it's very easy to separate that shit from the, like, there's like fundamentalists in any belief system, right? So you can like separate that shit from them. But when I was in my grade 7 brain, I didn't know that, you know? So it kind of just turned me off of the whole thing. Okay, where's this extra print statement coming from? Parents are Mormons. 14 stopped going. Dad said he wouldn't make me. He couldn't force someone to believe. Mormons seem like, honestly, the chillest. I love their response to the Book of Mormon, like, Broadway show was basically like, hey, can we put an ad for the church in the playbill? They're like, yeah, absolutely. No babies in a church means it's dying. Yeah. Just moved here because you need people from church to greet me in the town, make your day. Oh, that's awesome, Nikki. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just like anything, right? You can take anything too far. You can take anything way too far. As long as you're not taking it too far. And like, it's one of those things where there sometimes has to be a bit of a pendulum swing back and forth. Like if it does start going too far, and like you have like a religious kind of group that's really demanding the entire society think and behave in a way that they deem is correct, well, then there has to be this shift away from it to kind of keep the balance. But I think like now the shift away is going a little bit too far, and it's time to shift it back towards the center a little bit. Gospel music is so good. Yeah, and fear tactics are just like, no, I don't like that. I don't like scaring kids into, like, I'm gonna make you believe what I believe by scaring the shit out of you. It's like, that's not a way to convince someone. That's not a moral or a nice way to convince someone to believe what you believe. That's like, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Know what I'm saying? Still live in your old student flat. Downstairs neighbors are Muslim. Make some extra food for them. Oh, that's awesome, man. Somebody, yeah, I have some really good buddies who are Muslim. Yeah, 80s the satanic panic. Exactly, that kind of shit. It's like, yeah. I went church Friday when you were a teen, felt very pushed, turned you off of religion. Yeah, it's the same thing. I had the same sort of thing. Ramadan in Saudi was awesome. How come? I feel like that would suck. You can't fucking eat. Hell translates to grave. I didn't know that. Gained 5 kg during Ramadan. Oh, they offload. Oh, I get you. Oh, right. It's a sun up to sundown thing, right? Hell yeah, Buddha. Yeah, they fast. No food and water. Do you do? Yeah. What's the fasting tradition in? Are you Catholic, Nikki? And then you eat until dawn. Yeah. Is it as strict as like a Ramadan thing? Oh, Pentecostal. Fuck those Catholics, eh? Get the fuck out of here. Start a religious war. 1 Sunday a month of fasting. Is it also like a sun up to sundown thing, or is it a full 24 hours? Okay, I'm getting, I keep getting fucking distracted here. What was I trying to, oh yeah, I'm trying to find this extra print statement. There's something is printing a 1. Let's see when it's happening. Oh, you know what? I think it might be the grenade script. Yes. I believe that's the one. Okay. Okay, let's see here. So if I blast, I don't want to blast this one down. So let's aim this a little bit up here. Move that one over. So that's area number 728. And it's null. And then area 728 is true. So the is on target is true. So then area 731 is null. So that's false. 731 is false. And then 731 is true. Perfect. So now we should be able to now we can do our check win condition thing. So now instead of checking against the positions, what we can do is we can say for F in file holder get children. So this is for each of the files. If not, let's see. If not, f.get meta. Now how does get meta work? Hold up. I just gotta see. Get meta string returns the object's metadata entry for the given name. Right. There's an error if the entry does not exist. So here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to, when we first create each of these files, we're going to have to we're going to go file.set meta is on target, and we'll set it to false. Down here we do this check. So actually, before we even move on, let's just make sure that didn't fuck anything up. Let's do the same thing here. Blast this one over. Whoops, I kind of fucked that up. So false. Now this one should be true. 728 is true. Boom. False. I got to figure out what to do about that edge case. So 731 false, and then 731 true. Okay, so now it has that meta. So it won't throw an error because it doesn't have that variable set. And then what we'll do is in our check win condition, we'll say if not f.get meta is on target. So if, in other words, if that is false, we're going to return false. And if it loops through all of them and it doesn't find one where that is on target meta is false, we'll return true. We'll make a Boolean here, or we'll say it returns a Boolean. Oops. Returns Boolean. And then what we'll do is here, we'll check the win condition after each movement. So we do the thing, we set that meta, and then we'll do check win condition. We'll say if check win condition. So if the win condition is true, we'll print you did it. Let's see. And that would be like a perfect place to leave it for the day if we get there. True. Let's move this over. Boom. Boom. And boom. You did it. We got ourselves a working puzzle, ladies and gentlemen. Frick yeah. Hell yeah. You done 2 40-day fast. Oh, so it's a sun up to sundown thing. I was like, Jesus Christ. Non-denominational more than anything tend to lead towards Baptist. That's the thing. I don't know any of the denominations. I got to do a little bit of research on that. Aeon, how you doing? Welcome on in. Never learned how to do the ifs? Hey, I can teach you. Absolutely love playing loud music and really getting into it. No, hell yeah, me too, brother. Yeah, hell yeah, bro, me too. I want the most extremist version. Hell yeah, brother. We did it. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Okay, one more thing before we end, actually. Let's get rid of... I don't think we need these collision shapes or anything. We just need to add the sprites. So let's see, target holder, that add child. We want that to stay. We don't need the area. We do want this to stay. Let's move this down. Or we might not even need that blue target area. I don't think we're using that at all. We're just checking the positions, so we don't actually need that. Don't need the area, don't need the collision shape. So I think if we get rid of all of this. Right, and then we align them there. So let's try this here. So now I just want to make sure the grenade's not going to blast the target off. And let's just make sure that it still works. So we'll go here, blast that one. So that one's true. Blast this one, blast this one, blast this one. You did it. Yeah, fucking A, baby. Woo, that feels so good. Easy. Got rid of some code. Ended up being quite a simple. That's the thing. Sometimes it's like I have no clue how I'm going to do this, and I think I'm going to have to do all this crazy nested for loops and these collision detections and stuff. And then often you end up just kind of finding the easiest way to do it. So what we're doing is we're waiting for that movement to finish. We're taking the 3D position, but we're just taking the X and Y and turning it into a vector. The reason we're doing that is so that we can use this is equal approx function. Then for each one of the target positions, we take the X and Y and turn that into a vector as well. So we can just check it. If the positions are the same for the file and the target, we set this is on target metadata to true. We actually don't need this anymore. Then we just check our win condition, which basically loops through. And if there's any file that does not have this is on target variable set to true, we just exit the function and say it's false. So our win condition is false. If it goes through the whole loop and it doesn't meet this condition, in other words, if it goes through each file and each file's is on target variable is set to true, we return that true. And then we check this here. So we're saying if win condition is true, we print you did it. Boy. If wash your ass equals today, that's a false for me, brother, every day. If big fat butts equals on my face, boner equals true. What? Excuse me? That's disgusting. That is disgusting. Let's find somebody to raid here, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the good conversations. Sometimes I've been actually kind of thinking about some of these rules here, and it's one of those things when you start, print wild times, baby. When you start streaming, it's kind of like I didn't know what I was doing. You sort of just like when in Rome, you know, all the other streamers we were hanging out with, they all had these similar rules. So I'm just kind of like, yeah. And this kind of discussion can get off the rails, and I do not in any way, shape, or form want to be a political streamer. You know, I don't want to be fucking Hassan or Destiny or any of these fucking people. And you don't want to upset anyone too. But I feel like we had the right group here today for all of these discussions. The somewhat political shit at the start, the religious stuff at the end. So that was awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for that. It actually feels really good because a lot of this shit, I keep it inside. I just keep it all in because you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to, you know what I mean? But it's nice. It's kind of cathartic sometimes to just yap it out. So thank you everybody. That was a really fun stream. That was a great way to end the week. I'm gonna go get my lift on. Yeah, I appreciate that, Nikki. Hell yeah. Get my lift on, baby. Yeah. Hopefully we didn't. I don't think we fucking would have offended anybody or any of that shit. Get that raid message. Let's find someone to raid here. Who do we got? Should we find someone else doing some game dev shit? Who do we got? There's a couple game devers that I follow now. I wonder if any of them are online. This guy's cool. Hypnotic Games. Let's go raid him again. Seems like a nice guy. Booyah. And if we did, whatever. So that's just kind of that's the trade-off, right? You start talking about this stuff, you lose some people sometimes. Which is partially why I had to have the rules, but anyways, a good one today though. It was fun. It's cool learning about each other too. In that way. Hell yeah. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. If for some reason I don't end up going to the show tomorrow night, some weird circumstance happens, I'll take the Discord. We can watch UFC in the Discord for anyone who's interested. Otherwise, I will see you all on Monday. Next week is going to be Dead South tour prep all week. No recording, no game dev, pure tour prep. So that'll be a fun week. We'll see you in the Discord, and we'll see everybody on Monday. Thank you very much, and love you guys, and peace out.
Player and the NPCs take. So we don't set it here.